My name is Don Was. I'm the president of Blue Note Records. Well, I think Idle Moments is my favorite Grant Green record. I love the way he played on that, and I love that band so much. But Sonny at the Village Vanguard is just a classic album. You put that on, put some headphones on, you are in the Village Vanguard. It sounds like you're sitting right there. And then the playing is so incredible. And it's absolutely explosive. It's spontaneous without any kind of self-consciousness, and no one's intimidated. They don't have a chance to be. And it's just one of the great records of all time. It's like asking, like, who wins, Muhammad Ali or Joe Louis? John Coltrane loved Blue Train. I think he thought it was the first band of his own that he put together, achieved what was in his head. So I know he was proud of that, but I know that he went on to go many levels deeper than that. Blue Train is a great introduction into Blue Note. If you're looking for a doorway in, I usually direct people to Blue Train. But Herbie Hancock Maiden Voyage, I bought that when it was a new album too. And I didn't even know who Herbie Hancock was. I didn't know much about jazz. I just heard some stuff on the radio, and I knew I liked Blue Note. It had gotten 5 stars in Downbeat. Actually, I didn't buy it. It came with my Downbeat subscription. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know that. Very, very few people have made records better than this in any genre. I'm going with Herbie. Oh, man. Mode for Joe is the first Blue Note record I ever bought. And it's the first jazz that I really consciously remember hearing. I was 14. My mom was making me drive around with her on a Saturday to run errands. And I wanted to be at the mall with my friends. So I was being a really bad kid, like just sullen, bad kid, to the point where she left me in the car. She said, just sit in here are the keys, play with the radio, I'll be back in a minute. So I'm messing with the dial, and I landed on Detroit's jazz station, WCHD, and he was playing that. But I didn't hear the beginning of the song. I just came in right at the top of the saxophone solo, which happens about 40 seconds in. And Joe Henderson, it's not even like notes. He's like making these kind of anguished cries. And then boom, boom, boom. And Joe Chambers starts swinging. Joe Henderson he calms down and he starts grooving. And the message that came through to me was Joe Henderson talking to me without saying any words, saying, Don, you got to groove in the face of adversity. And by the time the song was done, it changed my mood around 180 degrees. I was like cool about everything. My mom got back in the car. I was a nice kid. And I recognized that music without lyrics had totally changed my outlook on life. So this is the first Blue Note album I ever bought. It means a lot to me sentimentally. But Speak No Evil is the best record that anyone has ever made in any style of music. Donald Byrd is a great hero of mine. He's from Detroit, which is my hometown. And Donald Byrd was a hero in Detroit. But I don't know how you beat Something Else. Something Else is just a great album. It's of the same era as Kind of Blue. It's got Miles on it, Miles and Cannonball together, obviously. I just think it's one of the great albums in the catalog, so gotta go with that. The Sidewinder is the first hit record that Blue Note Records had. When I first started working there, we did what they call focus group studies, where you get a bunch of people in a room, just regular random people, a random selection, not jazz fans. And you just we tried to find out what do average people think about jazz. Yeah. Most of them say, I hate jazz. You got to have a college degree. You got to take 3 years of music theory to even understand the music, and got all this attitude. And then we'd put on the Sidewinder, and they go, oh, I love this. What do you call this music? Yeah, well, that's jazz. What? Really? So Sidewinder opened up a lot of doors that let people into jazz. It's a very important record, and Lee Morgan is one of the greats. But Art Blakey swings like a mother, like nobody else ever, you know. And he's so great on this record. You know, if you listen to his playing, you understand why he was so in demand and why musicians love to play with him, because he would drive you to the next level. He'd put you in a higher gear than you knew you had. He was really generous in that way. He elevated everybody who played with him. And this album is just a textbook of swinging. Oh, man. Well, you know what's weird? People think that Jimmy Smith is like this commercial boogaloo kind of music, right? Jimmy Smith his approach to the organ is as radical as anything that Eric Dolphy or Ornette Coleman did. Nobody played that kind of walking bass with the combination of the left hand and the foot. Nobody did that before him in that way. He came up with that. You know, every jazz organist imitates that now. No one used the B3 like that. He's a revolutionary musician, and that gets lost in the fact that the music swings and is so accessible that you think it's simple. But it's not simple if you're the first guy who thought it up. He's a genius, and that's one of his best albums. But for me, this Eric Dolphy record, I bought it in the 1960s. It had been out for a few years. I didn't buy it new. I was a teenager when I bought it, and I could tell that this music was about breaking rules, being expressive, and doing all the things that they told you not to do in music school. It's revolution music. As a rebellious teenager, that was speaking to me. I'm going with Eric. Oh, man. I think this is my favorite Dexter Gordon record. It's probably the most popular one, I think, in the catalog. I'd have to check that, but I'm pretty sure it is. Incredible band, and he's in peak form, and his tone is so beautiful and powerful, and you can really get a sense of him. He was a giant, like literally. He was a big guy, and he had a big personality. He speaks so eloquently, and he's graceful. There's tremendous dignity and humanity in his playing. But this one, the real McCoy, man, that's definitely got to put that in there in the top 5 all-time Blue Note albums. Alvin, like Art Blakey, you know, like he rode his groove, man, and made you play better. So this is all these guys playing at peak form. McCoy. Oh, man. Well, Horace Silver's such an important figure in the Blue Note legacy, you know. He and Art Blakey, they put them together in a group, and they basically wrote the book of hard bop, which brought funk into jazz. You would get kicked off the bandstand at Minton's for playing what Horace Silver played on those records. His church, it was funk. It was funky. Yeah. And grooved like crazy. Maybe we've released more Horace Silver albums than any other artist. And this, of course, probably his classic album, Song for My Father. Everybody knows that. Beautiful classic record. But Kenny Burrell on Midnight Blue, man, he defined a different kind of cool. If someone says they don't know anything about jazz, but what's a good introduction for Blue Note, I tell them Blue Train and Midnight Blue. There's something wrong with you if you can't find something in Midnight Blue to make you feel, you know. You can't be indifferent to that record. Got to go with Kenny. Oh, man. Best album ever. It's going to win, I'm telling you now. I know what's happening at the end of the bracket. Going with Eric, going with Herbie. Herbie and Wayne at that time, well, Wayne's not on that album, but they were playing with Miles, and Miles they were working on this modal stuff. That's just such a great example of it. I'll tell you, another thing that's inspiring to me about Speak No Evil and Maiden Voyage is that it's so harmonically sophisticated, but they were kids. I think they were made in the same year, close to it. They were just young guys, but they knew so much they knew more about harmony than anybody. It's not like modal exercises. It's so soulful. They're playing so brilliant. Ah, shit. Go with Sonny. Yeah, it's just a primer. But going with Wayne, Herbie. And the winner is, speaking of evil, but by a hair, right? Here's the other thing I will say to you. I'm 73, I've been making records for 40-some years, and there is this notion that the music you listen to when you're a teenager has a special place in your heart, and you carry that with you for the rest of your life. So I was 14, 15 when these things came out. You may have to figure that into the equation, that these records, these are like such an essential part of my musical DNA. I'm not objective anymore. But I'm not the only one who will tell you that Speaking of Evil.
Did you enjoy the tournament?
I did, yeah. There were some heartbreaking moments in there. And I really didn't like sending out to lunch down to defeat. I think there was justice. I'm Don Was, president of Blue Note Records, and I would just like to say hello to all the Blue Note fans in Korea. It's an honor to be here. I thank you for valuing and loving this music. I know that Korea is a very important territory for Blue Note, and we're grateful to you, and we're aware of you. And thank you for your support.